A protest convoy planned by anti-e-toll demonstrators on the N1 between Pretoria and Johannesburg called off. And Econometrics chief economist Azar Jamin says the South African economy is falling behind the rest of Africa in growth terms. I'm Richard Brooks. A protest convoy planned by anti-e-toll demonstrators on the N1 between Pretoria and Johannesburg has been called off. A handful of protesters converged at the Ultra City along the busy highway. They were planning to show their opposition to the controversial Gauteng e-tolling system. Edwin Itsidi has more.
It's understood that the organizers of the protest did not ask for permission to march, and as a result, they were advised to disperse. Earlier, a handful of anti-e-tolling protesters converged here, hoping to take their frustrations to the ever-busy M1 South. The organizers have, however, vowed to organize another anti-tolling march.
Econometrics chief economist Dr. Azar Jamin says the South African economy is falling behind the rest of Africa in growth terms because of its slow growth rate. He was speaking in Johannesburg at a discussion about the future of the South African economy at the South African Institute of Race Relations. Jamin says government has failed to establish workable solutions to make the nation more economically skilled.
The growth rate of the South African economy is a lot slower than the average growth rate of most of the economies in the rest of the African continent. It is falling behind from an educational perspective. The rest of Africa seems to be making more progress in improving its educational base than is South Africa. Government has proved incapable of intervening effectively. The more it intervenes, the less it's able to deliver on those interventions.
Shocked relatives, neighbours and community members have gathered at a house in the Ikanini informal settlement in Khayelitsha on the Cape Flats. That's where 4 people were killed in the early hours of this morning. A man allegedly beat his wife, his sister-in-law and 2 children to death with a spade before drinking acid. Chris Mabuya reports.
Family member Bongani Ndwandwa from Guguletu says he received a call in the early hours of this morning that 4 members of his family have been killed. Ndwandwa says a 28-year-old man who works as a security used a spade to hack his wife, sister-in-law and 2 children to death. Ndwandwa says they will meet as a family to discuss funeral arrangement. They come from Tomo village in the Eastern Cape.
With the school holidays in full swing, police have appealed to parents to keep a close watch on their kids. This comes after 2 boys aged 10 and 11 drowned in 2 separate incidents in Durban this week. Childline says there are other dangers that parents also need to look out for, such as fire and access to drugs and alcohol. Childline's director in KZN, Linda Naidu, says parents must know their children's whereabouts at all times.
We think at this particular point in time the children are most vulnerable, and parents, although they may be working, make sure that your child is once again aware of the rules, that they don't engage with any strangers, people that they don't know. Even if children are left at malls or in any environment where children meet to have fun, to engage in social activities, know who your children are engaging with, know what time they're going to return, how long they're going to be, and what activities they're going to be engaging in.